Aloha, friends and neighbors. Raleigh Frost here, Kona astrologer. We're going to do show 1140, cover that second week in October 2018. You're just a month away from peak hurricane in Hawaii. So I warn you again, there's a hurricane coming. Get ready. And it's a big one. It's a real one. Now, on this show, I want to talk more about Venus, because Venus is stopping in the sky, stationing. She's slowed down in reverse direction. When she stops, it's on October 8th. And Venus is going to be very large in your consciousness. And see how I drew her? Yeah, the trouble is, when Venus stops here at 10 degrees of Scorpio, which makes her very sexy. Scorpio is a very sexy sign. She's stopping in square to Mars. Yes. And Mars in square to Venus is not good. Romeo tends to hurt Venus. So this could be very sexy, but it could be hurtful. It could hurt. There could be violence involved here. I mean, the girls are so sexy walking around in their bikinis, and the boys are so lustful, and they can't hardly stop. They're like little animals. Yeah, that's what the human body's like. It's like an animal when it comes to sex. So the worst of this will be on Wednesday, October 10th, when the moon goes by Venus, and you'll see it in the sky on the 10th. Word to the wise, keep your daughters home. And it's not a time to go wandering around looking sexy, sexy, sexy. Venus, do you hear me? We have our pattern of planets. Here's Venus squaring Mars. Ooh. Saturn and Uranus are still there in harmony, which is nice. And Pluto is sextile Jupiter. I'm going to give you some Pluto knowledge, because Pluto's stationed too. It just went direct. So sharks are biting. Pluto knowledge. Pesticides. Okay, that's a big thing. And I want to talk about some of this stuff, like this stuff. But first, let's get to the day-by-day happenings for you. We're going to run the moon around the edge of this pattern, and as it makes angles, squares and trines to the various planetary bodies, it generates the mood of the times. Here we go. If you're on the Thursday show, you're here, the moon's in Leo. Thursday night, good Mercury. Here's a nice trine to Mercury. And so you can talk things out, your mind should work good. Continues through the middle of Friday, when the moon shifts into Virgo, and as soon as it does, it sharpens right up, because there's some good planetary aspects in Virgo. And I'm going to be talking about health here shortly. So I hope Friday night you're watching the show. It's Thursday night on most of the islands, but Friday night, here's the moon trining Uranus, trining Saturn. And amazing new information comes out about science and things that should be common sense. So common sense enlightenment Friday night. Good night. And here, Saturday morning, the moon's still in Virgo. And here's a nice trine to Venus. Stay in bed with somebody you love. But mind your Mars. Too much of a hurry, and there'll be hurtful sex. Yes. Now, Saturday night, the 6th of October, we're hitting this Neptune place here, where the new moon hit and squared Neptune, and this is the last of it. This is the last of the whole month of floods and water and spilling things, confusion, delusion, forgetfulness. It's going to happen Saturday night. Not a good time for alcohol. I mean, you'll get all drunked up and lose the keys to your car. Something will happen. So Saturday night may look attractive, but it was Saturday morning where all the fun was. Here's where the sexiness was and the pleasure. Saturday night, delusion and confusion on the 6th. Beware. Sunday morning, truth comes out. There's a nice sextile to Jupiter, trine to Pluto. Whoa, now I realize what I did last night. Anyway, the truth and wisdom of Sunday morning is really nice. But it's a brief thing, because Sunday afternoon, here's the full moon squaring Saturn. And we got the old banker, ripping you off. Let's get those fees from bouncing. Oh, you bounced your check by $1. We're charging you 28. You bounced your check by 5 cents. We're charging you $28 from an overdraft, and we just take it right out of your account. We've got your money in our bank, and we'll do with it what we please. Ugh, Saturn, bankers, rip-off. Saturn, the cross of matter over the crescent of people. Ugh. So this is the last of the full moon on Saturn. Could lose some politicians here. Yeah, Sunday night. You could be awful tired of the baloney that's going on in our government, in our corporations. Well, moon shifts into Libra in the afternoon, and after lunch is the peak of your horror about our laws and regulations and the men that do it for money. Monday, the moon's still in Libra, and in the morning you get a nice trine to Mars. Get out and do something physical. You need to prepare for the hurricane, folks. There will be a hurricane. Be prepared. There's another new moon Monday night that takes you out of the flood zone. Yeah, this new moon's in Libra. Squares Pluto, so now you're in the panic zone for a month. Yeah, the month following October 8th is panicky. Wind does that. Water is slow and creeps up on you. Yeah, they say, run from water, hide from wind. So get your hiding place ready. And here, late Monday night, early Tuesday morning, is the square to Pluto. And Pluto says, eek, panic out. There's tigers in the water. People are panicky. And it happens early Tuesday morning or late Wednesday night. You may hear some sirens here too. Now you're getting close to Venus. When you hit Venus, it gets a little complicated here. As soon as the moon goes into Scorpio, which will be the night of the 9th, Tuesday, you'll feel this. Uranus, there's an opposition to Uranus. Nobody's interested in the weird stuff, but the weather, there could be hurricane warnings and windstorms and people acting bizarrely and oddly. You go into Wednesday morning, here's a square to Mars. Uh-oh, aggression. Now what happens here is going to be spread all the way through Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday while the moon's in Scorpio. Because Venus is stationing. Should be beautiful. You go out and look after sunset. There's that beautiful blue-green star. But when Venus is getting lusty and loving, she has a square to Mars. She's too physical. This makes her overly physical. I mean, this is love. But sex is like pornography. This is a pornography girl. And things are happening too fast and too rough. And they're too much like rape. And Venus could be in real trouble here all the way through Wednesday. Don't let your daughter go out in revealing costumes. And you can tell as soon as one of these young gals especially the young ones, start to get sexed up. Oh boy, let's go out there and tease the boys. This is not time to tease the boys. Venus, settle down. You know, there's also trine to Neptune, so they want to put on all kind of makeup and color and be like the girls on TV, huh? No, you don't want to do that. You want to get a husband? You want to get married? The boys don't marry the girls you see on TV and the makeup and the bikinis and all that stuff. No, they don't want an oversexed wife. But you're all oversexed here Wednesday, and it can get you in a lot of trouble. It settles down Wednesday night. There's a sextile to Pluto, and maybe some people get control. Moon's still in Scorpio, though, so look out. Here on Thursday, the 11th, the moon goes by Jupiter, and some truth and some wisdom comes out, and maybe you'll understand what happened to everybody back here on Wednesday. You'll see it in the news. Well, I don't know if they'll print this kind of stuff. Women defend themselves. Older women should take care of younger women here. This is not a normal Venus station when everybody just feels loving and affectionate. Nope. Your cat comes in your lap for petting and scratches you. It's that kind of a time. So the truth will come out when the moon goes by Jupiter in the middle of Thursday. On Friday, the moon goes into Sagittarius. It all changes. There's heroes out Friday night. It's a nice sextile to Mars. You better get out there and start taking things away that the wind is going to blow around. You might have another 2-3 weeks before the hurricane hits. So get out and do some preventative maintenance. You can do it for a few hours, and then late at night, maybe midnight or so, the moon squares Neptune. You get confused, you get lost. Better stop before something goes awry. You'll still feel that confusion on Saturday morning on the 13th from that Neptune square. Take it easy. Think things over. You're nearing a full moon, which happened to impact Uranus. And that full moon makes for a wobbly consciousness. That's Sunday morning. There it is. You can see a little FM. and there's Saturn. You know, he's about to bring you down. You got a little bit lunatic like Saturday or Sunday morning? Thought you're all organized, huh? You probably weren't. You might get lucky, but oh boy, I would be very cautious on Sunday morning as the moon goes by Saturn. This is my bad point. When the moon goes by Saturn, it's right on my ruler. This is a time when you might lose your astrologer. It's a good time to put some donations in the mail, you know, to try to keep this show afloat, because it's slowly sinking because this Saturn is on my ruling planet. Last week's show I asked for some donations. It's real.